Good morning and welcome to Mamaws Backyard Chickens, and this is Front Porch Conversations with Mama. Y'all, it is 66 degrees here, and it's going to be very nice today. It did rain most of yesterday, so I don't know what I'm looking at when I go back there to feed the chickens, but it's cool. It's cool this morning and quiet, except for a few birds. Today, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects, and it's not another chicken breed, it's several chicken breeds. If you have watched any of my videos, you know that I love and recommend, especially for first-time chicken keepers, to start simple and go with a sex-link chicken. Or a chicken that's auto-sexing, that you can tell what the sex of the chicken is at hatch. That makes it very easy for you, if you live in the city limits and you can't have roosters, to know that you've got hens and that there's not going to be an issue with crowing. I like to raise chickens like that in my backyard, because I like to know, Mamaw's a planner. Mamaw is a ADHD worrier. I worry about things that don't need to be worried about most of the time, but I do like to know when I hatch what I'm hatching. So we're going to go over some breeds, and there's, according to my research, there's about 22 auto-sexing and sex-link breeds. That's a lot, because there's only like 56 breeds of chickens in the United States. So about half of those are sex links or auto-sexing. And you know my favorite chicken, the crested cream leg bar that lays the blue eggs, they are auto-sexing. Now there's a difference between sex-linked and auto-sexing. Auto-sexing means that it's a true breed, that it will hatch. In this case, the cream leg bar will hatch and lay blue eggs every time, every day. As long as you are breeding cream leg bar to cream leg bar, you will always get a blue egg and the same feathering of your chickens. There's a couple more that I've got here in my notes, and I love my new iPad, y'all, because I can just... The Belvedere it's a large, friendly, dual-purpose bird. That is also a auto-sexing chicken, so you would know if you have X number of roosters or hens. Something called the whale bar, and some of these I haven't even heard of. The road bar and the Marondina or bisque. I'm butchering that name. Now, I haven't heard of those chickens, but there's several more. The Rhode Island Red is you're supposed to be able to tell. The Barred Rocks, you're supposed to be able to tell. So those are some that I know. Your sex-link chickens, and I'm going to tell you what that is a mix of breeds of chickens that produce a chicken that is sex-linked, and so you're able to tell the sex of the chick once it hatches. And in most cases, they're going to, if you've got a red sex-linked chicken, there's probably a 90% chance that that's a Rhode Island Red mixed with something. And a Barred Rock is commonly used in sex-linking. We have our Golden Comets, our black sex-links, our red sex-links, our Isa Browns. Those are mixtures of chickens. And let me go into... Okay. Sex-linked chickens. Most your New Hampshire chicken, your Rhode Island Red, your barred Plymouth Rocks, your white Plymouth Rocks, your Delawares, your Leghorns, your Sussex, and your Buff Orpingtons and Welsumers are common birds used to cross to get sex-linked chickens. The Welsumer is also an auto-sexing breed. For your black sex-linked chickens, you're going to cross a barred Plymouth Rock rooster and a Rhode Island Red hen. And that's going to make your black sex-links. And the black sex-links, I showed you a picture of that in the past, are black with copper hackles, like black copper Moran, except they don't have feathered legs and their legs are yellow. Your red sex-links, Rhode Island Red or New Hampshire rooster with a white Plymouth Rock or a white Leghorn, Delaware, or light Sussex hen. And that's going to give you a red sex-link chicken. Your golden sex-link is a Rhode Island Red rooster with a white Leghorn hen. So if you want to make those combinations yourself, you can have sex-link chickens. If you're going to raise sex-links to sell, invest yourself in a good Rhode Island Red rooster, and then just breed him to those hens, the Leghorn, Delaware, a new Plymouth White Rock, and you will have sex-linked chicks. And they will lay any color. They can lay any color egg. When I breed my cream leg bar rooster with my Moran, those chicks will be sex-linked because of the rooster. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to cover today, is the sex-link breed and the auto-sexing breeds. The difference in these, again, the auto-sexing breeds will breed true as long as they're bred to the same breed of chicken. And the sex-linked chickens, they will not breed true. So you can't take two sex-linked chickens and breed them and get sex-linked chicken. You're going to get one of the parents or the other in the offspring of the sex-link chicken. So I hope I didn't get too technical, and I tried to put it into words the way I understand it, and help you understand it. But the reason I like the auto-sexing and sex-link breeds is because you can tell at hatch if you've got 20 roosters and 2 hens, or 20 hens and 2 roosters, and then you can determine at that point what you want to do as far as keeping them, selling them, or raising them for the freezer. And it's good to know that. If I hatch out a bunch of roosters, and I've talked about this in the past, and I know they're roosters, I'm not just going to sell them on to my customers as chicks. That would not be ethical. If I knew that I was selling a lady or a man, whoever, who wanted to get into backyard chickens, and I just advertised them as a barnyard mix, and I knew that 90% of them were roosters, I wouldn't feel good doing that, and neither should you. That's not an ethical thing to do. But with my roosters, if I'm able to tell that they are roosters, then I will tell people that they are roosters. And most of the time with roosters, I will grow them up till they're fully feathered and put on a little weight so that I can, most of the time in this area, just gift them to somebody who wants to put them in a stew pot, because roosters around here don't go for a lot of money unless they're a specific breed. My crested cream leg bar, I might be able to get some money out of a crested cream leg bar rooster or a Moran rooster, but you can get roosters all day long here for free. So I would just grow them up and fatten them up a little bit and then move them on, free. But that's just the way I do things. You guys could do things totally different. It's totally up to you. And now that's enough about that. I was going to tell you just a little bit more tidbit about Mama here to tail end of this video. Yesterday I told you about, a couple of days ago, I told you about growing up on between two farms, my mom and dad's and my grandparents, my mom's parents. Yes, on my grandparents' farm, I used to go and spend the summer, like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, helping them with their farm, and in particular their tobacco, which they raise for a profit. But I wanted to tell you about some of the good times, because I like to remember the good times, even though Mama's life has been chock full of not so good times. And maybe at some point you'll hear about those, but I like to concentrate on the positive things. So, the happiest times of my life have been spent on my grandparents' farm. As a little girl, I have always longed for solitude. I like being by myself. Not always, but sometimes I just want to be by myself. So on the farm, I would climb up a cherry tree and sit up there and read a book and pick the cherries and eat them. And that was one of my favorite places. And another one of my favorite places was the hayloft. And looking back on it now, I didn't think about all the things that could be up there with me, like the snakes and the spiders. I just thought it was a quiet place for me to sit on a stack of hay and read. And as a child, I really loved to read. And I'm a weird child because I like Shakespeare. I like Wuthering Heights. I like Charles Dickens. And I like Tom Sawyer. And there's nothing better than reading Tom Sawyer sitting on a stack of hay in a hayloft. But that's how I grew up. And I have always wanted to be, at least part of my day, in solitude. And those were like my Superman's fortresses of solitude. Nobody ever bothered me in the hayloft. Nobody ever bothered me when I was in the top of a cherry tree. And I could be there and read my books in nature and be free and peaceful. And that was the best days I remember. Those days in the cherry trees, in the hayloft, those were the best days I can remember. And I just wanted to share that with you today. Now it's time for me to go to the backyard, to the mud pit, and feed these velociraptors. And I will see you in the backyard. Y'all have a wonderful day.